Ahoy hoy and welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. If you're new here, welcome. We are a weekly live stream and podcast hosted by three nerds with a varying taste in comic books. And each week we take it in turns to pick a book along with everyone in the chat. And we pick whether it's a trade, a mini-series or an event, and we come back a week later and we discuss it. This week is my pick, and I have picked Superman Sacrifice from 2005 by DC Comics. This was written by multiple people. We have Greg Rucka, Mark Verheiden, and Gail Simone as the writers, and Ed Benez, John Byrne, Carl Kerschel, and Rags Morales as the artists. The reason we have so many writers and artists for this trade is because this traverses 4 titles and 8 issues. So it's not just a Superman book, it's Adventures of Superman, Action Comics, and Wonder Woman. So yeah, before we get started, I do just want to say, if you want to purchase this book or any of the other books we've read on the Nerd Herd or anything at all really, we have an affiliate link in the description below for Amazon. And if you click on that and buy anything at all, we get a little something back, and we have decided to put it in a pot, and we'll use that as a prize for a viewer pick down the line. That's right, we'll give it straight back to you. It's not for us. So the more you buy, the more chance you have of actually getting something back. Before we meet the herd, I want to introduce you to my lovely co-hosts. First, we have the man with the voice we all want, that comes out of the face we all want, sat in front of the shelves we all want. It's Scott from Scott Shelf.
Shemai, everyone. How you doing? I should have done like a Shemai, everyone. Like, really broke voice.
And next to him, we have the man, the beard, the money. It's Phil from Phil's Nerdiverse.
Hola.
Oh, fancy today. What happened to the hidey ho?
I'm just back from holiday today, so I rushed back to this. So I'm in a holiday spirit still.
And you've picked up the lingo.
Yeah, I was in Port Rush, Northern Ireland. Yep.
Speak a lot of Spanish there, do you? Before we get into the synopsis, let's meet the herd and see who we have, shall we? We've got the Funky Gibbons, who says, hidey ho, as usual. Hi, Liam. We have Highland G. Hey, everyone. Interesting hashtags. We have Triple G, all right. I can't do that. It might be a bit offensive, reinforcing my Geordie stereotypes. And we have the comic book report. Hello, gents. Hello. We have Connie. Connie's in. Hi.
Hi, Con.
We have the guys from This Week in Metropolis. Welcome. Hello. We have Amy. I've heard that name. Who's that? Hi, Amy. That's everyone so far. So while we're waiting for more people to come in, I think a synopsis is in store for this book before we get into anything. So I picked the book. So, before then, just say hello to Tom from This Month in Movies. Hi, Tom. And so I picked this book, so I will give the synopsis, and it goes a little bit like this. When Superman is bested by Brainiac, he's forced to watch Lois die in front of him. He has no choice in the matter. So he just goes completely crazy. He stops holding back and he beats the crap out of Brainiac. But when he wakes up from a trance-like state, he finds that the blood on his hands is human. And the Justice League show up and they need to figure out what's going on. So with Superman's recollection of events, his memories are changing. At first he thinks he fought Brainiac, then he says he fought Darkseid, and then he says he fights Ruin. So something's not quite right, and the Justice League discover that someone's controlling Superman, and they sent him to kill Batman, which he would have done had Wonder Woman not shown up in the nick of time to save him. So Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman enter Superman's brain to figure out what's going on and who's behind it, and they find out that former friend of Justice League International, Maxwell Lord, is the one controlling Superman. Yes. So Wonder Woman takes Batman away, takes him home to get him better, and while she's away, Superman attacks the League and flees to Maxwell Lord. Wonder Woman returns to find Superman gone and the League defeated, so she heads off on her own to face off against Maxwell Lord and Superman in an all-out, no-holds-barred fight to the death. But who's death? So yeah, that's pretty much the book.
Nice.
That's everything. With nothing
Yeah.
else to talk about.
I didn't even need to read it. You just nailed it there. Jeez.
Very good.
Thank you. So we've got before we start, Comics versus the World is in. Have a good evening. Catch you on the replay. Enjoy the replay, buddy. If you're listening, thank you for stopping in. So, yeah, what did we think? Let's start with Scott.
It's a very like what I was just saying to you before we went live. It's a very simple book, isn't it? Like it's like the premise of it is, it's quite a deep premise, but the way it's kind of written, it's very just here it is. You know what I mean? And like with the stuff that we usually read, there's sometimes there's a lot of stuff in the background that we gotta like look into or maybe think a bit deeper with what's going here and there. But this was a very just cut and dry. You just see what you see. That is what's happening, and I enjoyed it. It was because it was a fast-paced read, and to be honest, I think we needed that after the last couple of weeks we've had with the kind of very dense reading that we've done. Like this was a really good, quick-paced, fun, but also slightly devastating book to read.
Yes,
the art. Go on.
Just before, I think even though it's on the surface, it is a very easy to understand story, I think you still have that excitement and that enjoyment because you're trying to figure out what's going on as well as Superman's memory keeps changing.
Yeah, like I was really confused, like at the start, because like you think the whole Brainiac thing is real, so you're in that same mindset as Superman, and then when you realize, then in the next issue that like he remembers it a different way, and you're like, hold on, like was Brainiac real, and is this not real, or was Brainiac not real and this is real, and stuff like that, like, or are they both not real, like what the hell's going on? And yeah, it was just it was fun to kind of, you felt like in a similar headspace to Superman.
Yeah,
and that's how I felt anyway. But yeah, the
Comic Book Report says he hasn't had a chance to read it yet, but he will.
Good.
So he says he likes the sound of it. I can't believe he hasn't heard of this story. I mean, I know it's 16 years old, but it's a big one and it's quite important to the DC continuity.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of it myself, but after now reading it, I'm not surprised whatsoever that Shane, you picked this, because it's Wonder Woman at her finest.
It really is.
Like the art in it was, I know it was different artists and stuff, and it had that inconsistency, but because it's gone over multiple series, not just all Action Comics or whatever Wonder Woman, but I can forgive that. Usually, I think that all of us, we're quite tough on it, aren't we? Like whenever the art is inconsistent between issues, but
Yeah.
I think we can, if you're aware that it's different artists, different issues, then you're okay with it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, see, my issue with the art is that, as you're saying, but we've read some books like that in the past, but they all tend to be Marvel. I don't know what it is. I always had in my head that DC were kind of like, they wouldn't kind of do this with multiple books. And obviously, this is when they have done it. We're used to it in Marvel, and to the point where it does get quite annoying reading some of the stuff in Marvel whenever there are different artists. The issue of the art I have in this is that, so for the main 4-part story, there's different artists. And they're all really good, but I can't decide which one I like better. I think they're all really good in their own way.
It was definitely, I think it was the part 3. I just wasn't like,
is that
some
the
of the faces of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's nose looked like it was flat like this at some point. And I was like,
maybe she take a punch.
Massive punch.
Tottenham Gaming, my brother, says Superman is lucky Batman was holding back. He has read this book, so he knows that's a lie. I'm not even gonna humor him with that one. Batman was completely unprepared. With the art, I think I have 2 favorites. My favorite is the first part with Superman in the Superman book, the Ed Benez art, which is, I love that because it's very much in the style of like Ian Churchill and Jim Lee. And then in the next issue, I think it's The Adventures of Superman, you have John Burns, which is it's like kind of a cartoony style, but I really, really enjoy that because of his amazing run on Wonder Woman. So I think it carries over from my love of that book. So did you think, because it was quite a jarring switch from those 2 issues, it did go from like the ultra muscular art of like Ed Benez to the more cartoony. Did that jar you at all?
Yes, a wee slightly, because whenever I first read the first issue, because I read it on my tablet, and I was just taking screenshots galore, like that, in preparation to pick our page, and then it just completely changed. And it's not that it was bad; it was just different. I enjoyed it as well. But when I read the first issue, I was excited by the art. Where kind of like maybe, they've changed it. Even though I knew they were going to change it, like it's just it's a bit too far between these two issues. But
the first 2 issues for me were definitely the best.
Sorry, Scott, just say hi to Perpetual Comics. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, the first 2 issues were definitely the best in terms of art for me, and then it just kind of just like it just dipped. There was nothing wrong with them. It was good art, but I just really preferred what was going on in the first 2, and it just dipped for me in the third and fourth. Yeah.
So I think that should lead us into our pages, and it might tell us which pages we've picked if we all kind of had the same dislikes and likes with the art. So we'll start with Scott because he's up there, and we'll go clockwise because I like to keep things in unison. So Scott, tell us about your page.
Cool. So yeah, this was either in the first, I think it was the first issue, but like this was when Superman was like fighting Brainiac in like this base 7 miles under the ocean, and pressure there was like a lot. Like only Superman and Brainiac could withstand it. Nothing else could, pretty much. So yeah, this was kind of like Brainiac had just told Superman that I've got these 4 people trapped here, and you've just punched a hole in my wall, and all this water's flooding in, and all of these people are gonna die because you decided to punch a wall first before realizing there were 4 other people here. And then he goes to all the people there. He's really sad and he's like crying, and he gets to Lois, and then she just gets crushed to death like by the pressure of the water. It was
crushed to death.
It was just so intense, because at this point I thought this is what was actually happening. This wasn't like in Superman's head. So for me, there was that shock factor that like at the very first issue of this 4-part series is like his wife, his life pretty much has just been squashed by heavy water.
And his own fault, like his own own hubris. He just couldn't wait and have a conversation with Brainiac. He just got slightly above his station, didn't he? I think that's what the first 2. Yeah, that's what the first 2 issues sort of showed. They showed that he sort of had a bit of anger in him beforehand, didn't he? I think, and that was showing that he was just slowly starting to become completely taken over by Maxwell Lord. But yeah,
I love the art
as well.
The art's fantastic, but I have a problem with this part in the story. So there was 4 people in these tubes, and Lewis was the last person he went to. Like, Lewis. I mean, if it was my wife or whatever, or Lois, sorry, whatever. Yeah, I've had a few beers. Come on, give me credit.
Oh, sorry.
So, there's 4 people, and one of them is your wife. They are married, aren't they? At this point, yeah, they are. Yeah. Okay. Like, I wouldn't care about the other 3, but he goes to the other 3 first, and then Lois.
It's Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, and Lana Lang. Of course, he cares about them.
I'm not saying he doesn't care.
Saving his wife till last.
Yeah, well,
best to last.
Maybe I have reacted first with her. Maybe being able to save her somehow. Spent more time thinking how to save hers instead of the other 3. I don't know. Maybe I'm cold, but I just think I thought it was weird that he went to the other 3 people first.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great because we don't just see Lois die once. We see her die like 3 times throughout this book. We see Darkseid kill her. We see Doomsday kill her. Like the writers of this book, I really enjoy seeing Lois die.
And also half the time.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Like that art was fantastic when she's just got the shirt on and she's just like, yeah. I mean, even I can appreciate that. Come on.
If you think about so that this book wasn't that long ago. It's 16 years. Like I can remember. I remember 2005. I can remember it. So this was not that long ago. But you wouldn't see boobs drawn like that now. I don't think. No. But the fact that I don't know why people draw. Like what their kind of motivation is to draw things like this in comic books. It does look cool and stuff, but like you don't see it anymore. And they were there type thing. They were present and
present.
Yeah.
The comic book report says, yeah, this looks excellent. Now I'm wondering why I haven't heard of this. Yes, so am I. So I'm really wondering how you haven't heard of this. It's a big build up to Infinite Crisis. It's actually one of the key reasons Infinite Crisis happened. Like this, like multiple things before this, but this is like the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to Infinite Crisis. But yeah, so yeah, lovely ladies, drawn very lovely. I can always appreciate that no matter what book I'm reading. I'm a sucker for a nicely drawn. I mean, like the men as well. Like Clark was drawn so handsome in Superman in the first issue. Was it Superman 218 and 219? So handsome, and I appreciate that. I like the muscular body on my men, and I like the feminine bodies on my women. I'm never going to change. I'm stuck in my ways. I'm old. Let's move on to Phil's page. No, that's Scott's again. Whoops. There you go.
Yeah.
Phil.
So this is the last issue or the third issue, was it?
Third, yeah.
Wonder Woman 219, part 4.
Yeah. So part 4.
Oh yeah.
It's not just like the art for the reason I've picked this. It does look fantastic, but I've really picked it for the drama in this one scene. So in the page before this, so Wonder Woman has Max Lord in the Lasso of Truth and basically says, how can we release Superman off your hold? And he just says, kill me. And the fact that there's the top panel, there's like a moment's thought, and that's all she needs, and then snaps his neck. Like, she doesn't kill people, but she knows, he's admitted he's not going to give up the power. Therefore, there's no other way. He's the most powerful being on planet Earth and beyond. So if he's controlling him in the way he has been, he needs to go without hesitation. But it's just that the top panel, that's that one pause.
Yeah. She may never have that chance again as well. That's it is that kind of split decision. Like, I'm not going to have the chance again. He can control Superman. Superman can literally kill everyone. I need to stop this. I need to nip this in the bud now and just snap his neck. But what's cool about this was like the top 2 panels, her face just doesn't change.
Doesn't change.
No. She knows what has to be done. I mean, he's not lying. He's in the lasso. Amy says, Superman's face in this. Creasy.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe for people who haven't read this, context is needed. Superman is holding his neck because Wonder Woman just sliced his throat.
Well, we can find out why, because my pick is Wonder Woman slicing Superman's throat.
There we go. Okay.
So this is the page before, because it's such an important part of the book. I mean, it's what the whole book is building up to. But this part where Superman just won't stop. She got away from him for just enough time to get the lasso on Max, and Superman's still coming. And she not only throws her tiara, but she throws it with such precision that it doesn't go too deep into his throat, because that could have quite easily killed him. She just needs to stop him for a second. And I just think the motion of the top is fantastic. You see her arm 3 times as she's just whipping the tiara off and at him. It's just so good.
Was there kryptonite in it or something? How did it cut?
No, her tiara's magic.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's vulnerable to magic.
She had the kryptonite and she was prepared to use it, wasn't she? But I think that she dropped it in the fight or something.
He punched it. When he punched her from the sun back onto planet Earth, she dropped it. So, yeah, she didn't get a chance to use it.
No.
But she was willing to, which is great.
Yeah, she got it from Batman and she was willing to. And the whole fight, I mean, this whole issue, Wonder Woman 219, which I have multiple copies of because it's amazing.
He has a Carry Everywhere copy too. He established.
Well, yeah, I have my copy that's in my Wonder Woman book. I have my reading copy, and then I have my Carry Everywhere copy because I always have to have a copy in my bag, and then I have a spare just in case anything happens to my Carry copy.
So literally, right? Let's come away from the book a second. You carry this comic everywhere with you. No
I carry
what.
this comic
to Tesco's, to the pet shop.
Well, if I've got my it's in my backpack at all times. Let me just put it that way. So if I have my backpack on me, I have that comic with me.
Never change. Never ever change. Yeah.
Pete says, can't remember, is this after Max has killed Blue Beetle or does it come back? This is after, because Wonder Woman does mention she figures everything out. once they discover Max is controlling Superman, they realize that he's the head of Checkmate and he's the one that killed Blue Beetle, because Blue Beetle had figured it all out. So yeah, Max kills Blue Beetle, takes over Superman, tries to kill Batman, and yeah, doesn't go well for Max, does it? I did like that he tried to control her. Like at the end of the issue before, she's on her knees, Superman has her around the throat, and Max is trying to control her.
Yeah.
But what he doesn't know is the issue before, issue 218, I believe, Wonder Woman got her vision back because she was blind for a year after fighting Medusa, and the goddess Athena gave her her vision. So now she sees through the eyes of a god. So that's why she can't be mentally controlled or manipulated, which I thought was a really nice little thing to put in there.
That's cool. And there are things like that in the book, like even like the Blue Beetle stuff. Like I know it tells you in the book, but obviously I'm thinking Scott's the same as me. We don't have that prior knowledge, but it's not overly important to the story. Like it's nice to know, like what you just explained there. That's interesting, but you don't need it to read this book.
No, I think that's a good thing about it, because it is very much a Superman's being controlled. Who's doing it? Need to stop him. Everything else you can take or leave if you're not reading the books. Highland G says, Wonder Woman runs a thin line between warrior and hero. It all hangs on her judgment in the moment. That's very true. There is a book, actually, where Wonder Woman does mention to Superman and Batman. They're talking about their rogues gallery, and she sort of smirks at them. And she's like, I just get rid of my bad guys. And they look at her and she's like, why do you think I don't have a rogues gallery? He's like, she's you know, you put them away, they escape. There's no point in that. Yeah. Wonder Woman is just quite happy to just end the threat there and then and move on to the next one. We have Greyman in the chat. Hi, Greyman. Thanks for joining. I think this is why Wonder Woman's my favorite, because she is willing to do what Superman and Batman are not.
And I've said before, like I've never read Wonder Woman before the Nerd Herd, and obviously you've picked 2 Wonder Woman books prior to this, or we read Gods and Mortals and then Hecate, and even this. Like I now have a base to build my Wonder Woman knowledge on, and I have to say I think she's a fantastic character, and I can see why you love her. I just wish I knew more of her, and hopefully we get the chance further down the line to read more of Wonder Woman. But I want to touch back on that fight scene or scenes, because it was about 6 or 7 pages, wasn't it, of Batman or of Superman and Wonder Woman, and it was action packed. Like the fight, if that was like an animated movie, that would be a fantastic scene to watch, providing they do it right, of course. But yeah,
absolutely. This fight scene actually was taken and was changed a little bit, and was going to be in Justice League Mortal. You know, the film that didn't actually happen. It was cast, and it was, you know, they had the sets and everything made up, but it never happened. And they took this fight, and it was going to be in there.
It's not like Warner Brothers will not be prepared to kind of, you know, make good movies.
No. But I think showing Wonder Woman at her fullest, they don't do it very often, because she holds back a lot. She does, because most of the people she fights, they're just people. She can't really punch them through space or anything like that, and neither can Superman. So to see them both going balls to the wall, like just not holding back. I mean, at one point Wonder Woman does say she is holding back a little because she doesn't want to hurt Clark too much, which I thought was like, he's trying to kill you, he thinks you're Doomsday, and he thinks you've just killed Lois. Don't hold back. But yeah, great fight scene, from him breaking her wrist to, you know, burning her face with his laser eyes. And
I do have one question for you, and I've written this down. So whenever he broke her wrist and she slides the gauntlet to kind of support her wrist, all of a sudden these birds and eagles appear. Like, can she summon birds? Like, is that a thing?
She can communicate with nature, so she sort of compels them to give her a little bit of distraction against Superman. I think right before that, when he does the super hearing to listen to her, and she clangs her bracelets on his ears, I think was just a fantastic. It shows how clever she is, and how much of a warrior, and how she's always turning people's strengths into weaknesses, because she says every strength can be a weakness.
She's very analytical.
Yes. She's the best. She is Batman and Superman in one being. She has Superman's strength and Batman's cunning, and it's like she is the merger of those two. I think that's how I've always seen her.
Shane is fanboying right now, isn't he?
I really am.
We all love Wonder Woman.
I love Wonder Woman. Sorry, Greyman just says, sorry, can I just, not read much Wonder Woman, But who has she killed other than Maxwell Lord? Cheetah returns often enough to fight her, and Cersei, I think. Yeah, I mean, she has killed in the past. I think you do have to go back and see. She's killed like minor characters. The problem is no one stays dead. So even if she kills her entire rogues gallery, some writer will bring them back somehow. I think, and just the fact that she's willing to, I think that puts off a lot of villains from going after her.
Yeah.
Like this story, like I know it's called Superman Sacrifice, but it does feel like half Superman, half Wonder Woman. Like, it's the ending, it impacts Wonder Woman the most. Superman is now free of this, and she has helped that, but it's now, ruined aspects of her life.
Never mind Bruce Wayne with broken bones and burns in his body. I think
you're
right.
It's like
a Trinity story, really, isn't it? And that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the impression I got. So you got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and you put them in a story that's just fun. You don't need to have all this background, multiverse, source wall. Sometimes I think I know you're a big fan of Flash, Scott, but sometimes the Flash complicates things with time travel a bit. Like this was quite simple. I think you get those three main characters, you can do things like this and just make it fun and enjoyable. And I love the fact that everyone always thinks like Batman will win every fight. He's always prepared, for every enemy. And even now it's a common thread where he's prepared to take down every member of the Justice League in case something like this happens. And I don't know when that came into play. I would have thought it was before this time. He had these plans in place, but this was a perfect example. Like something's went wrong. He knows it's not Superman. It's not Clark, but obviously something is controlling him. But I should still have a plan in place to take him down. I'm now wondering, is this the starting point of him thinking ahead like this to put all these plans in place going forward?
Well, that would have been the Tower of Babel from JLA, which would have been, I think slightly before this. This was 2005.
It was Grant Morrison, wasn't it? So that would have been...
Yeah. When did that start? Because I think JLA was a little while before this, because Justice League starts in 2006, I think. So I think he already had the plans, but he needed to be prepared, and he didn't have his kryptonite on him. That kryptonite ring was in the cave, because when Wonder Woman takes Batman back, she comes back with it. So he's not always ready, is he? Tottenham Gaming says Batman once hung a dude from his jet.
Nice.
Yep. I think he also left KG Beast to starve to death in the sewer at some point, didn't he? Perpetual Comics says, I've never heard anyone use the words fun and enjoyable when referring to a Superman book. Yeah. Well, you've never read Superman Sacrifice, Andy.
And just on that I had the same opinion. Like, Superman is known to be a bit boring because because he's so powerful, you can't best him. And I do have question marks over this Max Lord guy. He seems like a bit of a weakling. It doesn't seem like a strong kind of enemy, but yet he could control Superman. I don't know his powers. They didn't explain it in this, really, apart from the fact he could control them. But
his mind control powers did grow. Like, he did say it's taken him years and years to implant these doubts and these memories into Superman. So this isn't something he just decided to do one day. It's taken him years to do it. Let's just catch up on some comments. Highland G says, she's mainly killed God, demons, etc. Most recently, she killed War and became God of War in New 52. Yes, if you haven't read any Wonder Woman New 52, a fantastic run, absolutely fantastic. I wasn't a fan of the art at first, but as it went on, I absolutely fell in love with it. Grey Man agrees. He says JLA story was before this. Yeah, so I think that started in '99, didn't it? The JLA run.
Wow.
99. I might be a little bit off there. Perpetual Comics says, I saw a comic once and Batman was hung like keep that one's rare, Andy.
I've got 2 copies.
Oh, nice.
And Greyman says, I love a bit of Superman, he never bores me. Good man. I think you have to find the right story.
Are those 2 copies, Phil? Do you have one to carry around all the time? Or?
Yeah, one stuck together, those. But
you can't get that page open anymore.
Let's move on. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. Sorry, let's move on. But yeah, the Superman, to be fair, I haven't read that much, but I think without it makes a better story with Wonder Woman and with Batman. even the fact that Batman wasn't a big presence, he had a huge part to play. Like, I love the fact that, okay, so Batman's been beat pretty badly by Superman, and they both go to Batman, like, for almost like, what's the word, like acceptance or something. You know, Wonder Woman's like, she's broke Max Lord's neck, and she goes to Batman. Obviously, Superman done what he did, and he goes to Batman. And I love the fact that even though Batman didn't really play a huge part, he's like a big kind of presence in the book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because in the final 2 issues, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are both. The whole monologue of the book is talking to Batman, isn't it? Like the whole voiceover is them talking. Like in Wonder Woman 220 is her explaining everything to him. She's like, Superman attacked Maxwell Lord. He was in the lasso. I did what I did. I don't feel bad about it. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm handing myself into the authorities. You know, she's accepting. She accepted everything, and she's not sorry, and nor should she be, in my opinion. What was she supposed to do? Like, if you could give me a better outcome to that, was she supposed to, one, kill Superman instead, and then let Maxwell Lord take over Green Lantern, Flash, Batman?
Yeah.
Was she supposed to leave her lasso on him for the rest of his life? Because that's like some cruel and unusual punishment. Like, what other thing could she have done to stop him? Could you lobotomized him? Is that right? Are you allowed to put your thumbs in someone's eyeballs and pop their brain?
I would say just as much as murdering them. I think they're both roughly the same, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I mean, essentially, she saved the world because Max Lord could have controlled Superman to take the world. He could be the king of the earth or whatever he wanted to do. So she saved the world by killing Max Lord, and like, you know, it's fully justified. And I get that she wants to feel guilty for doing it, but like, celebrate, have a couple of beers. Like, you saved the world. Well done.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like, it's bittersweet, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we'd all know Superman would not have done it.
No.
Superman would have just let Wonder Woman keep coming and coming and coming at him. He would not have killed Wonder Woman or Maxwell Lord. So what would be the outcome there? Because if Maxwell Lord could have quite easily have just said, fine, I don't want Superman to fight Wonder Woman anymore. I want him to go and destroy France, go and destroy Tokyo. You know, like, so is she supposed to follow him around the world and try and save people while he's destroying everything? There's nothing you can actually do in that situation. He had the lasso on him. She said, how can I stop you from controlling him? And his answer was, kill me. That was the only thing.
Do you know, so I know I picked that panel from a page, but so whenever he says kill me, I was thinking 2 things. One, he's in the lasso of truth. So he's telling her the only way you're going to stop me is by killing me. Or was he kind of like daring her, kill me? That's the, like, thinking like it won't happen, kill me.
Well, no, he can't lie. So her question was very exact. She's like, how can I stop you?
Yeah.
Tottenham Gaming says lobotomize him. So yeah, so just have him sitting drooling in a corner. And Greyman asks, what was his range? KO him and then lock him in a power dampening room in Bel Rev. Well, his range is pretty much unlimited, because at one point Superman and Wonder Woman are fighting at the sun. Like, he flies Wonder Woman into the sun because he's going to throw her into the sun because he thinks she's Doomsday. So if the control lasts, how far is the sun from Earth? I didn't take that class. So he's got one hell of a range on him. And since he's not, I don't believe he's a metahuman. I think he got his powers a different way. So I don't think a power dampening cell would work. Like, it wouldn't work on Wonder Woman or Superman because they're not metahumans. They're gods and aliens. So I'm not sure that would have worked. But I mean, we can all question it now, but in that moment, Wonder Woman had a broken wrist, a burnt face, a broken nose. You know, she just slit Superman's throat. She needed to end this fight. You just can't, can you? You just can't. You can't say what's right. No. Yeah. Question for the panel from Perpetual Comics. What is your kryptonite? We've had that question on Comic Airwaves.
Yeah. Mine is
Comic Airwaves question.
Pasties for me.
Mine, chocolate. Warm melting chocolate.
I don't remember my answer was. Scott, do you remember? Because I don't.
No.
Guinness. I'll say
Guinness, yeah.
Greyman says Superman's killed before. 3 fellow Kryptonians. Max never stayed dead for long. No, Max came back during Blackest Night, actually, and then obviously in New 52. The comic book report says I need I need to read this thing. Holy crap. Yes, you do. It's super fun.
Well, that's the thing. Like whenever we're doing this, like one thing I always think about, like, would I recommend this to somebody who hasn't read it? The books we read, and 100% this is definitely because it's not. I know you said it builds up to Infinite Crisis, but it's not a groundbreaking story, I don't think. But it's so much fun, and being 4 issues long, I mean, you could read it in an afternoon and just be really happy with it. So,
such a quick
by all
read.
means, give this a go.
Yeah, I will say the trade has 8 issues in it. It has, I've written it down because it has Superman 218 to 220, Action Comics 829, Adventures of Superman 642 and 643, and Wonder Woman 219 and 220. I would say you do not need to read the first or last issue in this trade. You can skip Wonder Woman 220 and Adventures of Superman 643 because they're the aftermath where they're explaining to Batman what happened. So you can just read the 4 issues of this and it would give you the entire story that you need. So don't feel like you have to pick up the entire 8 issues because it is just the 4.
But if you do want to read the trade, the link's in the description below for our Amazon.
Yes, it is. And don't forget, anything that gets added to that goes into a pot for you guys. We don't get anything out of it. Tottenham Gaming says his kryptonite is Krispy Kremes. I can't beat a Krispy Kreme, can you? The Funky Gibbon says, Batman and Superman need to realize that sometimes there's no other way. Would they rather she have not killed him and have Supes continue to rain havoc and destruction? Exactly. Also, Superman as a villain is the best Superman. I would have to agree. When Superman goes crazy or is controlled, or when he's a bad guy, like if he's like affected by red kryptonite, I find those a little bit more fun to read because he just has a bit more fun with his powers and he doesn't hold back as much.
Yeah, totally. It was like, the fight between them was so, they are very evenly matched, so they could just go all out. Like, obviously, I know Superman wasn't really aware what was going on, but they were going as hard as they could pretty much against each other. And it's rare you see situations like that because, like you said, Superman won't kill, so he'll probably always hold some stuff back. But then Wonder Woman, to be matched up against Superman like that, she will do her hardest and go, oh, you know what? I'll actually have a really good go at this guy because he can take it.
Even in the Zack Snyder Justice League movie, the fight scene when Superman came back to life, that it was him and Wonder Woman were also the 2 strongest ones. I love that fight scene as well.
When he headbutts her and she headbutts him back and he looks confused.
Yeah. Like I feel like at that time both of them were kind of holding back to the point where, like, well, I've had enough here, so she had to kind of bring him down. But obviously, they're just too powerful to kind of to outdo one another, especially if they are holding them back.
Yeah, there are some great other stories if you ever want to read Superman and Wonder Woman, just because they do mention in this actually that Superman and Wonder Woman destroyed his Fortress of Solitude. That's from about 3 or 4 issues before in the Superman run when Wonder Woman goes to the fortress and they have another battle in the fortress there, which is another balls to the wall, no holds barred fight.
I have a note here as well. It's probably worth saying because it kind of adds to the kind of tension, I suppose. So in terms of why the Justice League reacted as they did. So in the Teen Titans book, I don't read Teen Titans, so I'm not sure what happened. Superboy had tried to kill that whole team as well.
Yes. And again, Robin's the one that went through it. So like there's a theme, like Superman went after Batman, Superboy went after Robin. So Lex Luthor takes control of Robin, who is of Superboy, who is half Lex Luthor and half Superman, DNA wise. He takes over complete control of Superboy and Superboy just attacks the Teen Titans. That's a great read. That is a great read. Yeah, it's basically Superboy versus the Teen Titans and it's just
cool.
Really, really good if you get a chance.
I don't know the difference between Superboy. Like, there's Connor, somebody.
Connor Kent.
Yeah, and then there's John. I don't know the difference between the 2 of them. There's Jonathan, and then
Jonathan is the son of Superman, and Connor Kent is a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. He's the OG Superboy. Yes. Okay. So we've talked about it, and we've talked about the art. So it's that time, I think. What does this mean?
You're starting
should
to
have
get
gone
tired.
It means it's final thoughts and scores, which means if you've read this in the chat, drop your scores and we'll take an average of that. Also, I do just want to say this week is viewer choice pick. So if you have a pick for us to read for next week, drop that in the chat and we will take all those and put them on the wheel. And then you're more than welcome to join us next week. And we've got a little giveaway for you as well. So final thoughts and scores. Scott, would you like to kick us off, please?
Sure. Like we've talked about already, it's a very simple, easy to follow story with, some pretty deep ramifications in there. It was just a really cool, a very big fighty story. You know what I mean? It is, you had Superman. I know Brainiac and Darkseid weren't actually in it, but there were cool scenes to see, and yeah, it was just a really easy, fun, quick read. The art was nice. The first 2 issues were my favorite. The second 2 were still good, but not, didn't really wow me. But yeah, there's, I don't know if you guys struggle in the same, but there's not a lot to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's a quick read, but it's great. That's all I can say. And for that, it's going to be a 7.5.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I can't really add too much more than that. I mean, there are a few things we didn't touch in the book. So obviously with the art changes, as I said before, like none of it was bad. It just changed, and you can have to adapt to that. We didn't really mention the Darkseid Superman boxing UFC fight in the Octagon, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
The art and that was fantastic.
with Darkseid, yes.
Yeah. And the fact that his gloves were kind of kryptonite in it and stuff, so he was working and they couldn't get them off. It's almost like they just kind of thought of a fun story. You don't need a lot of heavy reading or kind of background on it. This is just what happens if someone else controls Superman with malice in mind. And I mentioned the kind of Batman having a big presence, even though he's not really there. I love the use of the Justice League in it, and the fact that scene where Superman realized, well, they're controlling me, like Max Lord, but yet are they controlling me? Or are they controlling the Justice League? So he has to kind of get out quickly to go get Max Lord. It's just a fun story, as you said, from start to finish. I was confused with the trade, so I read the trade. I was confused with kind of jumping around, kind of the tie-in issues and stuff. They were still fun, but for the 1 to 4, I'll judge out on that. I am also going to give it no, I'm not. I'm going to give it a 7.
Ooh.
I'm going to give it a 7. Yeah.
Awesome. So I picked it, so I obviously loved it, and I have multiple copies of the final part of this book. I really, really enjoyed this story because, like Scott said, it's just a nice, easy read. Like if you can pick up a cup of coffee, pick the book up, and you can just read all 4 issues, like 40 minutes. What's that? I do enjoy Superman fighting loads of things. Like you get to see him fight Brainiac, you get to see him fight Doomsday, and you get to see him fight Darkseid. It might not be real, but you get to see that, and I enjoy that. And the fight with Wonder Woman is fantastic. You don't need to know all the stuff that they mention. You've got the Teen Titans stuff and the fortress being destroyed, because this story is not about that. This story is about someone's controlling Superman. Who is it? Stop them. And it's super fun throughout. It's like a mystery you're trying to solve, and then when you solve it, it's like, oh wow. But you also, like, the first time I read it, I obviously didn't know the ending was coming. So to see Wonder Woman snap someone's neck was a big thing for me, like 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like a big wow factor. And even though I know it's coming each time, I still love that page because, like Phil said, her face doesn't change. She's holding his neck. She snaps his neck, and she just has that "this has to be done" look on her face. So for me, I mean, I know it's not a perfect book, and I know the art changes. So for me, this is an 8. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I just say I have been corrected by Greyman, who says OG Superboy is Clark as a child. Yes. Apologies. I am obviously speaking post Crisis on Infinite Earths, as I call him, OG Superboy. I know. Sorry. Don't hate me. Don't take my geek card away.
See, the DC multiverse timeline stuff is just too complicated to kind of keeping top off. I don't blame you.
We only have one score. Oh no, we don't. We have 2 scores. We have 2 scores in the chat, and we have got the exact same score as the herd, which is fantastic. 7.5.
Oh, nice.
So where does that go on the leaderboard? 7.5 for Superman Sacrifice.
Joint 12th.
Joint 12th with Identity Crisis, which we did not touch on, but this is actually a result of Identity Crisis. So that's really actually quite interesting that it's scored exactly the same. Let's see what books people want us to read next week. Tottenham Gaming says Public Enemies. That's Superman Batman Volume 1, which is fantastic. The Comic Book Report says you guys should read the first Daredevil trade by Zdarsky. I don't think I've ever read any Daredevil, so that would be quite nice, actually. Greyman says, read Martial Law Takes Manhattan. I don't know who Martial Law is. That's not... Who is that? I know the TV show Martial Law with Sammo Hung, but I don't think that's the same guy. And Beth, let's say, from me, my choice is Batman Creature of the Night, and Beth's choice, she's asleep, got an early night, will be self-storage again. Beth suggests self-storage every time we have this.
Highland G's in there.
Did Highland G give one?
Highland G with, I didn't see that. Sorry, Highland G. 1 week in the library from Highland G.
What is that?
I think Highland G suggested that. Yeah, suggested that a few times. So that would be quite interesting to see what that is. So there's some, actually, I wouldn't mind reading any of those, even the ones I don't know what they are, because I like to read new things. Do you have them all on the wheel, Scott?
No, bear with me. Just got 2 more. Sorry.
So, do you come here often?
Once a week, actually. I like to come and talk comics with a couple of other nerds. How about you? I'm going to take these glasses off. Okay.
Okay.
So we have one more. Do you think you can put that in, or is it too late? We've got Perpetual Comics says These Savage Shores.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one, mate.
We'll take the first one.
Go with the first one, yeah, because I've heard that's good.
So, Andy, do you want to pop in the chat which one of those you want? Because you only get one pick, mate. Don't be greedy. And Greyman says Martial Law was created by Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill. Real parody of Super Comics. I don't think I know that one at all then.
As long as it's within range, I should mention that too, that we're maximum 8 issues, isn't it? We do now?
Yeah.
Ideally, yes. Ideally, enough, a reasonable number that you can read in a week, along with your pick from your comic shop.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go with Andy's first choice there. He's not replied.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
You ready to go? All right,
go for it.
Give it a little shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because that's how many entries we had. Good luck.
Ooh. What have we got?
Ooh,
Is it going to stop? Yay!
Perfect.
Tottenham Gaming, Public Enemies. That was from I'm gonna say 2003. That was Superman Batman Volume 1. And I believe it's 5 issues.
Nice.
Great. Awesome. Well done.
So, well done. So, I think since that's my brother, I'll let him pick a prize that he wants from my collection. No, I take that back.
Anything you want. Anything.
You're carrying round copy of Wonder Woman.
No, I will get him a Krispy Kreme tomorrow. He can have a Krispy Kreme and he'll be happy with it. He's not a comic book collector, so we'll save that prize for next time. And we'll see if he wants to come on next week and have a chat, although he'll be at work, so I don't think he'll be able to, but he might record something for us if we're lucky.
Great.
So, yes. So, I think, we're finishing a little bit early. I think we got through that a little bit quick, but I don't.
It's a short story.
It is.
It's a very quick story, and like I said before, there's not a lot of deep chat that you can have about this book. It is quite.
No, it is. We do have Greyman saying, "Crap, lost to Tottenham. Hope that doesn't happen this season." And Tottenham Gaming wants my Harlequin first appearance. Which one? I've got 3.
All of them?
That's just greedy.
That's one each for us.
There's me and Scott sitting here with no first appearances of Harley Quinn. You have 3. And we're meant to be buddies. Put
We're
in the
not that
chat
close yet.
if we think we should get a copy each, Scott and I.
Yeah.
Don't put it in the chat. They're not having them. They're mine. So next week we'll be reading Public Enemies for Superman Batman Volume 1 from 2003. We will get that up. We will get a thumbnail up on Instagram and on Facebook. Yes. So there's nothing left to say, but thank you everyone for joining and sharing your thoughts. And we will see you next week with Public Enemies. What do we do now, Phil?
At this point, I really don't know. I'm not going to lie. What do we do? Scott,
Get your waves out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course.
See you guys. Bye, everyone.
Love you.